So we're here this evening with Neil Middleditch. He's invited us into his home to do a short interview about the upcoming testimonial, a bit about his speedway life, and what you're going to see at his testimonial at the end of the month. So some older fans will remember you've probably already had a testimonial, those that are a bit longer in the tooth. So why now another one?
Yes, it's amazing. People say to me, why is the manager getting a testimonial? Well, back in '84, I'd done my 10 years riding for Poole for the whole 10 years and was given a testimonial then by the then promotion. We had the meeting, Mum and Dad were on the gate collecting the money and helping along, and then we were told after the meeting they'd get the money, they presented it to me the next week, and sadly the club went broke and I didn't receive a penny. And so that's basically why, and when Matt Ford took over the Poole club, he said to me he would give me a testimonial.
So you were really unlucky that promotion, their last ever meeting, was your testimonial when it got hooked up in the administration.
That's right, yeah, and it was my testimony, and a number of other riders lost money, but that really hurt me because I've done 10 years at the club, and a lot of people, as the one they're doing now, have been helping them behind the scenes, getting things going. Basically we got ripped off.
It's a lot of work goes into these things, and obviously that's a hard pill to swallow, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it is, very much.
So you followed Dad Ken's footsteps into Speedway as a rider. Was he a supportive dad, or was he a dad that really rather you did something else?
No, he was. I mean, it was something I never wanted to do anything else. It was always at school. What do you want to do when you leave school, Neil? And I said I want to be a speedway rider. And they say, well, what do you want to do for a real job? But no, Dad, he never pushed me. He never pushed me. I never sort of rode a speedway bike until I was sort of 15 years old, and he supported me all the way through. Really, I mean, like most father and sons, you had your arguments on the tracks and things like this, but all in all, I looked up to him a great deal.
Do you remember that day when Poole came knocking on the door and signed you? Do you remember that? How did that come about?
I was doing a few second halves, as we used to have second halves back in the day there, so I was doing a few second halves and we used to race against the reserves then, and I started to beat a few. And then got offered the contract. So yeah, it was an honest, something that I always wanted to ride for Poole. There's been nothing on it in my mind from a small child to ride for Poole Pirates.
So did they come through your dad to you, or just
no,
directly to you after?
Through me. But I mean, Dad obviously he came down to the track with me and helped me because I was very young then, and he helped me set everything up and get things going and advise me. But they basically came to me and said, we want you. Said to Dad, can we sign your son?
So you signed for Poole. Your dad is a legendary pirate in his own right.
Yeah.
Was there a massive expectation from the fans from it's his boy, he's going to do this, he's going to do that? Was there that?
I had that. If I wish I had a pain for time, everybody said to me, you won't never be as good as your dad. And I probably wasn't as good as my dad, but it doesn't worry me. I was very proud of what he did. As I say, I started at 16, did a couple of years at Eastbourne, and then went to Poole when I was just about 18 and stayed in the first division as it was then for my whole career until I did 2 years at Arena at the end.
Yeah. It must have been the way that riders' averages work. It must be a hard day when you'd been there that long and had to leave Poole.
Yeah, it did. It hurt me, to be fair. I mean, my average turned out to be too high for the Poole when they changed the leagues. So it did a bit, but you've got to move on a little bit. And I had 2 years at Arena. I enjoyed them there, but my heart and soul had always been at Poole Speedway.
Many won't know, but your dad also did a bit of managing in the late 60s.
Yeah.
So you've kind of followed his footsteps in becoming a manager as well.
Yeah.
And you've become the most successful British league manager in the modern era of Speedway. How does that make you feel? It
makes me very proud. And as you say, my father's career, we've actually mirrored each other. He started at Eastbourne, I started at Eastbourne. He went to Poole, I went to Poole. He rode for England, I rode for England. I've managed England, which again was a great honour. But yeah, I mean, the team managing is something that I enjoy, and I think that's what comes across with the boys and with the fans. They see my passion for the club. That's it. It's not just a job that I stand there. I have a genuine passion for the club and to get the success. And luckily, we've been fortunate enough to have a lot.
And I think. What is the secret? Is it because you're a past rider that you can relate to the riders?
Yeah, I think it's a lot to do with it. I think when I go to a rider and I say something to him and he knows that I've been there. Okay, the eras have changed a long time since I've ridden a bike, but the principle is exactly the same. It doesn't change in Speedway. It's my job is man management. I can still hear an engine if it sounds slow or too powerful or whatever, but they do kind of know, well, Middle, you've been there, you know what you're talking about.
Going to what you're talking about, you've managed world champions, you've Hague, Loramsky, Ricardson, Holder, and a brief spell with Greg Hancock. That must make you feel great inside. Did you ever feel when you signed as a manager for Poole that you would be dealing with world champions, such great riders?
No, never, not in a million years. And I look in my office and I've got the pictures of all the teams, and as you say, the riders that I've worked with. I mean, I've worked with the greatest riders in the modern era. To be fair, I think there's not many that I didn't manage or work with, and it has just been an absolute honour. Well,
we know the Turbo Twins were a handful for you.
Yeah.
On and off the track.
Yeah.
Would you have managed anywhere else if Poole hadn't come and asked?
No.
Would that ever have been on the equation?
No. I always said that the day Matt Ford left Poole, I left Poole. Okay, his son's there. Matt's still behind the scenes, still helping Danny, but no, this is the only place I'd manage.
But even back at the start, you wouldn't have even considered managing anywhere else other than?
No, not at all. No, that was it.
It's the club that runs through your veins.
I bleed blue and white. That's me, and I'd never change.
Your success as a Pirates manager then saw you become, the whole of British Speedway, then wanted you to become Team GB manager.
Yeah. Again, yeah.
That must be when you're involved with the country. That changes things a little bit because it's something that your family really get into, and I'm very proud of you for that.
Yeah, and again, it was a great. If you manage your country, any sport, no matter what it is, it's a great honour, isn't it? And I was absolutely over the moon when I got offered the job. Almost got the World Cup 2004, but had a lot of problems over the years with injuries, one thing and another. And we gave it our best shot. I don't think we disgraced ourselves in any way, shape, or form.
I was there as a fan in 2004, and for you to be the Team GB manager, it was on your home track. The gold medal was this. It must be. In your managerial career, the whole lot, that must have been the hardest moment ever.
Yeah, for sure. It's still great, but it's what's done is done. There's nothing, we can't turn back the clock, unfortunately. But second by 1 point is.
If that's the only thing you haven't achieved as manager, then
yeah.
For me, you've got to look back with glass half full, mate. Really.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We know you're a Speedway family, and the family here at Bailey House has been synonymous with Poole Speedway.
Yep.
Because of the way that, the riders have stayed here and it's become their home. Legendary parties, I'm told of, that have happened here, which I'm sure you can't say too much about. I mean, how did all that start? How did the riders being here start? Was it something started a long time ago?
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, Mum and Dad did it originally, sort of, because obviously it's a big house and they didn't have a lot of money, and so they had to make the house work for them, as we still do. And they had riders staying then all the time, but in those days they'd have the sort of southern tours, so they'd have the Glasgow, Edinburgh teams, they'd come down, they'd do sort of Exeter, Poole, Oxford or Wimbledon, and then so they'd base themselves here. So they'd come from Exeter here, do the bikes, then Poole Wednesday, then Oxford Thursday or Wimbledon. So that's how it's always been. We don't have so many southern tours anymore, but we've still have riders living here. They've been living here for over 40 odd years, and again you could say the names of the riders, Chris, Darcy, Tony, Hague, they've all stayed here, and everybody stayed here. Anybody stayed here at one time, and I enjoy it. It's good fun. I've got to say, they've got their workshops here, and the boys still come and stay now. The Poole boys, if they're racing the night before Poole, they'll come here, and they've got the workshops, which is brilliant for them.
Does that keep you young then, staying involved with the younger riders? I mean, I'm outside, and Zach and Ben are here obviously tonight. It keeps you young, and it keeps you current as well, because how the bikes have evolved, how that's changed. Yeah, so it's good for you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to hang with the kids all the time, but I enjoy their company. They enjoy my company. We'll go down the pub and have a beer, or watch the Speedway, or have a game of darts occasionally. But yeah, no, I enjoy their company. They're all good boys, and we've been very, very lucky that everybody bar none has been absolutely a treat to have here.
I was going to say, that was my next question. Is there any that you bite your lip when they come back?
Yeah, there was one a while ago. I won't mention any names, but there was a bit of a ruckus with Darcy and this particular rider and Screeny and a few other boys. But it was all over in a flash.
A lot of testosterone flying about, a lot of egos flying about.
And a fire extinguisher going off. That was one night.
I mean, I love that. But the fact that you open your doors, Poole Speedway as a club, have benefited from having that. It's become like a given that if somebody comes to Poole, Midlow looks after
Yeah,
him.
basically. Yeah, Matt always phones me. I mean, I mean, the Aussie boys, particularly because I'm married to an Aussie, Susie, and we'd like to think that if my kids were abroad, somebody would do the same for us. And I know they would because of all the years we've done it. Everybody says you always got a bed here, there, or everywhere. So we're Speedway is a family. Everybody knows that.
It's a massive family, and your family are so synonymous and attached to Poole.
Yeah.
It's what makes Poole very special as well, mate. It really does. As a fan, it makes Poole very special.
Yeah, it does, and I'm very proud of the legacy that my dad's handed down to me. So yeah.
And you deserve this second testimonial, which is on its way at the end of August. Few riders have been announced up to now at the point of filming.
Yep.
Few more to be coming out, I'm sure. The team format, with you being the team manager that you are, it had to be a team format, didn't it?
Yeah, really. I think, and also we've got two great sponsors on board with County Crest, Andy at County Crest, and Andy from Meridian Lifts, who've been involved with Poole for many, many years in the sponsorship. And Andy's put a team together in memory of his wife Jo, and Andy's just a massive fan with his wife Karen. So it's going to be a great night.
So, with that in mind, are we going to get any other surprises on the evening that maybe people don't know about?
Well, we've got a few names, hopefully. It's difficult, isn't it, getting who you want, particularly riders. I mean, the riders I'm quite happy with. I'm very happy with who we've got in the field, but there'll be a couple of old faces coming down there for sure, and people will be able to have a memory with them. So it's going to be a good night. I'm
hoping that we see lots of people from over your years of being involved with the club and being involved with you, and maybe they haven't been in the more recent times.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to see them come back for you and
understand. It's been really touching, the amount of people who've come up to me and said, they don't go as often as they'd like, but they will be down for this meeting, and that makes me feel very proud.
And there's also for those that can't come, it's going to be streamed with Pirates TV, of course, and there's raffles and things that are going on that for varying massive pieces of Speedway memorabilia. Yeah. You've kept it simple. It's £1 a ticket. You kept it very simple, very affordable. And open to everybody. That's what I wanted it to be, because the meeting is for the people as well, not just for the fans, not just me. It's about everybody involved in the Poole Club, the fans who make the club. And I wanted to say, I didn't want he who had most money to win to get. We've got Bjarne Pedersen's suit, as most people know now, up for a raffle. I wanted somebody who would generally, some kid in the crowd, could win it, and that'd be lovely. That'd be great. Well, I for one, I know I am very much looking forward to the evening. I've been a fan of yours forever and a day, as you well know, and I had your posters on my wall as a kid. I don't want to make you feel too old. No. And we've been for a few rounds of golf together. I can't believe that I'm sat in your house. That 8-year-old kid being sat opposite his hero. It's it fills me up. Thank you. That's very nice. Thanks for doing the interview.
You're very welcome. Very welcome.